Good evening, everyone. Thank you for joining me here on this Tuesday evening. Hope all of you are having a good week and, of course, enjoying the season of fall with this obviously cooler weather we're getting used to, and, of course, the beautiful colors on all the trees and the leaves and everything. My family and I drove to Eau Claire this past Sunday. I had some family photos with my folks and my sister and my nieces and nephew, and it was just beautiful to drive west on 29, which is sometimes kind of a boring drive, but to drive west on 29, and it was just absolutely stunning to see all the colors on the hills. And recall a quote I read a few years back about fall. The colors on the leaves is God's artwork on the canvas of creation. And hopefully you've been enjoying these days of fall. Here, as we approach the middle of October, it's kind of hard to believe. The month is flying by here. And here I am right in front of our fireplace, as you can see on this chilly evening. And I hope this video finds you doing well and having a wonderful week. So a topic I want to focus on tonight, and thank you for appreciating these videos. I hope you enjoy these videos, but every week has a different topic or theme. And this week I'm going to focus on the topic of family. And topic of family, connecting it to a story about an inspiring story about family life in the scriptures, and of course wrapping it up with the wonderful story about football as well. So family, scripture, and football. So you can, the minute you hear the word family, various images or phrases or memories come to mind when you think about family. Perhaps your immediate family, the family you grew up in, your family of origin, or perhaps just perhaps someone else's family you could be thinking of. So the topic of family is kind of pervasive throughout all of Scripture, throughout the Old Testament, the Psalms, and of course the New Testament as well. And right now you could just think of family, and you can think about certain Bible stories: Abraham, Adam and Eve, Moses, Joseph, and of course Mary, the mother of Jesus, and of course Jesus' life in his family. And of course the book of James, one of my favorite books of scripture in the New Testament, written by his brother James. So the topic of family I want to focus on tonight is the story about Jacob and Esau. And before we get to that topic, when you think about family, there are some common themes or some common topics that lead to family dysfunction and family issues. So in my research, I came across this list, and it's always interesting to go on the internet and see all these lists, and everyone has various details and research on topics and whatever. So I came across this list of common items that lead to family issues. Common items that lead to family issues. Number one is just arguments. It's kind of one of those details. We are so busy, but also various topics. We don't take time to address certain topics. So the common detail for a common topic that leads to family issues is arguments. Number two, parenting decisions. Number three, the balance between home and work life. Balance between home and work life. And of course, if you're married and have kids, it's home and work life, and of course, family schedules with the kids as well. Number four, I thought was interesting, and that was organization. And to elaborate a little bit on that, it's just basic things in keeping up with laundry, keeping the pantry organized, keeping that junk drawer in your kitchen or somewhere in your house. Everyone has a junk drawer somewhere in their house. Trying to keep that organized and trying to find something. Someone misplaces it and you can't find something that you kind of have a certain spot for. And it's kind of frustrating for you. So organization. And number five is stress with a certain member in the family. And this relates obviously to parents with one of your children. So you have a child that's kind of just causing stress, and it kind of leads to other issues in the family. So you have all these topics of family issues, and perhaps you and your family, you recall growing up, or perhaps there's some issues in your family right now. And it kind of takes away your happiness, and of course leads you to worry, leads to some anxiety, some stress. But how do we, as Christians, take our family and our family issues to God? How do we be the initiators to resolve those issues and to address those issues rather than the easiest way is just to put them underneath the carpet or just ignore them. And as Christians, we're not called just to put things underneath the carpet or ignore them. We are called to be confident and to be the one that takes the positive step forward into addressing issues in the family and beyond. So the story is Jacob and Esau, and a little referral to this is in Genesis chapter 32. And Jacob and Esau, little history lesson here. We have Abraham, and then we have Isaac, married Rebekah, and then Isaac and Rebekah had two boys, Jacob and Esau. Esau was the oldest, Jacob obviously, yep, you got it, the youngest. And so little highlights from their relationship. They were born, Esau was born, and then Jacob was born holding Esau's ankle, and that's where we get the name Jacob. It's called, his name is translated heel catcher, heel catcher. So some highlights from that relationship. Esau sold his birthright to Jacob for a bowl of stew. He was out in the fields working. He was so hungry, he sold his birthright to Jacob. And then Isaac was going to give the blessing to Esau, the oldest son. So he told Esau to go out into the land. Esau is the hunter. Jacob is the complete opposite. He's more of the homebody. So Isaac says to the elder son, go out and kill, and then when you come home, we will feast, and I will give you my blessing. Well, Rebekah hears about this, and Rebekah, her favorite son is Jacob. Isaac's favorite son is Esau. So we have some parents' favoritism there, and of course some sibling competition as well. And that never happens in families, kind of behind the scenes. So Esau goes out, and Rebekah hears of this. While Esau is out, she develops a plan, and long story short, just tells Jacob to get some goats and some goat hair, goat skin, covers himself up in that, and since Isaac is, his eyesight is waning and getting weak, they're going to trick him into thinking that the son coming in is Esau, when actually it's Jacob disguised as Esau. So Rebekah does this, and it's kind of a unique story in the scriptures. And of course, Isaac, unbeknownst to what's going on, blesses Jacob. Then Esau comes in, and of course, there's some drama. And Esau finds that Isaac gave the family blessing to his younger brother, which is atypical, never happens in Old Testament scripture. And of course, Esau is furious. And Rebekah tells Jacob to leave and go to her brother's land in Haran. And that's her brother's name is Laban. So he goes and stays with Laban. And long story short, he's away. He gets married to Rachel and and then he's tricked, and that dynamic as well. So eventually, I'm going to fast forward the story, and finally, there comes the time for Jacob to return to his homeland. And as he does so, he finds out that that Esau is waiting for him. He sends out some inspectors, and Esau is waiting with 400 of his military men. So you can just imagine the younger brother returning. He's got a wife and kids, and he's got wives and kids returning, and his brother is waiting for him with 400 men. So he sends his maidservants out ahead of him, sends his wives, his children, and his favorite son Joseph is with him. And that's where we get the story to pick up here. I want to read from Genesis chapter 32. Genesis chapter 33. Jacob looked up, and there was Esau coming with 400 men, so he divided his children among Leah, Rachel, and the two maidservants. He put the maidservants and their children front, Leah and her children next, and Rachel and Joseph in the rear. He himself went on ahead and bowed down to the ground 7 times as he approached his brother. So before he even arrived, he already sent him loads of cattle and livestock to appease his brother. But Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. The two grown men meet each other after all this family division and tension, and Esau ran to meet Jacob and embraced him. He threw his arms around his neck and kissed him, and they wept. Then Esau looked up and saw the women and children. "Who are these with you?" he asked. Obviously, they didn't have a family reunion. He has no idea about Jacob's life, the ladies in his life, but also his children. And Jacob answered, "They are the children God has graciously given your servant." Then the maidservants and their children approached and bowed down. Obviously, they were taken away from him because they were fearful of Esau. And next, Leah and her children came and bowed down. Last of all came Joseph and Rachel, and they bowed down as well. Esau asked, "What do you mean by all these droves I met? To find favor in your eyes, my lord." But Esau said, "I already have plenty, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself." And the relationship was restored. Now, Esau had a choice. He could have kept to the division and despised his brother and just put that division and anger underneath the carpet and went on with his life and just ignored his brother. Jacob could have done the same. But Esau took the initiative for reconciliation and for forgiveness. And it's true for all of us. All of us in our families, we have those issues, that history that's darkened by someone saying something that was inappropriate, someone doing something that was inappropriate. And of course, we just think, well, they're family. They're not going to go anywhere. We're always going to see them around the holidays and what have you. They're not going to. But the thing is, the challenge is, as family, it's so easy to put everything underneath the rug rather than just to take the initiative and to make the relationship better. Because why take the initiative? Because they're family. But because they're family, it's more important as Christians to take the initiative, to forgive as God has forgiven us through Jesus Christ, and to restore that relationship. More importantly, why? There's Jacob and Esau. They restore that relationship for the sake of their spouses, but also more importantly for the sake of their children. And that's where we are as adults, as Christians, to prioritize the value of family, to address those issues that are in the past, to reconcile those relationships, yes, for now, but also for the sake of our children and our children's children. So finally, like I said, I was going to end with a story on football. So our son, Ben, he's been playing for the Pulaski football team. He's never played football before, but he wants to make the most out of high school. So he's been playing at the varsity team. He's gotten in on a couple plays, and we're very proud of him for his work ethic, but also for the dynamic that Coach Marsh has fostered on the team. So Coach Marsh is a wonderful coach, the head coach for the Pulaski football team, and he has this mantra, this code, this belief for the team, and it's family. And he uses the letters in each of the letters in the word family, F-A-M-I-L-Y, and it is this: forget about me, I love you. Forget about me, I love you. So forget about me and my goals as a team, as an individual player. We are all a family as a team. I love you, meaning I encourage you, I respect you, I support you. If you make a mistake, we'll address it and then move on. Forget about me, I love you. That's kind of what happened for Jacob and Esau. Esau forgave Jacob and his what he'd done to him. Esau put his needs aside for the sake of family. He went to Jacob and says, forget about me, Jacob, I love you. And I think all of us can benefit from that wonderful blessing and how Christ came into our world where God said, forget about me, I love you, and sent his son, one of his family members, his family, sent his son to be in our world, to show us how to love, how to forgive, and to die on a cross. And on that cross, it was, forget about me, I love you. Your past is gone. Your sin is wiped away. You have a new beginning in a relationship with Christ. So I encourage all of us to forget about me, I love you. Hold on to that word of family, inspired by the Pulaski football team, and inspired by Jacob and Esau, and how they blessed each other and blessed their children and the future generations. Blessings to all of you as you live out family and nurturing your family relationships. Forget about me, I love you. Because you are forgiven, you are renewed, and you are restored by God's love through us in Jesus Christ. Blessings to you, and be encouraged by that good word and that word of forgiveness, love, and hope as you live out your faith now and the days ahead. stay warm in these upcoming days and fall. And of course, blessings to you as you live out your faith. Thanks for joining me tonight, everyone. Have a wonderful rest of the week. Bye-bye.